Hi, I'm Florida Man from San Francisco, California, and let's just get the elephant in the room out of the way. I'm gorgeous. Today, I'm gonna share with you my number one beauty tip so that you can be gorgeous too. You ready for it? It's preparedness. You see, with a name like Florida, I've seen it all. Hurricanes, broken nails, forgetting your lyrics on stage, you name it, I've seen it. The reason why I always look so good is because I plan ahead and I prepare for if and when disaster does strike. Because that's the thing about disaster, is that it comes unexpectedly and oftentimes without a whole lot of warning. And so the less time I have to deal with thinking about what I'm gonna do then, the more time I can spend looking and feeling gorgeous. It really is that easy. Now, today we're gonna go through the Listos California Disaster Ready Guide and look at the 5 simple steps that you can do to stay more prepared and by extension, stay more gorgeous. Let's jump right in, shall we? Yeah, let's do it. We're jumping in. Arrgh. Okay, the first step, we're starting easy, y'all. We're starting real easy here. And that is to just know what's going on. And you're gonna wanna do that through alerts. And these alerts can happen all sorts of ways, right? You can catch them on TV, you can catch them on the radio, you can call 211, and oftentimes they can come to your wireless device, oftentimes automatically. It's kind of convenient. You can see these through like the presidential things or the Amber Alerts. Those are already coming to your phone automatically. But you can also sign up for additional alerts, and you can go to calalerts.org because, and this is going to be the theme for the rest of this video, is you can never be too prepared. So go and sign up. And actually, while you're at it, go and download a copy of this, Disaster Ready Guide by Listos California. And you can get that at listoscalifornia.org. Okay, the next step, and this is where it starts to get a little bit meatier. This is where you start coming up with your plan to protect yourself and the people that you care about. Your family, your loved ones, your pets. These are the people who are going to be evacuating with you. And these are also people in your life that you care dearly about. And the first thing that you're gonna wanna do here is you're gonna wanna get some emergency contacts. It's that easy. And no, you cannot list me as your emergency contact. Except you, Mom. You can list me as your emergency contact. That's okay. But this isn't just some doctor's visit. These emergency contacts actually need to know that they're your emergency contact, and you need to know that they know that they're your emergency contact, because you need to have communication here in case something goes wrong. You need to know to reach out to them, and they need to know to reach out to you in case something happens. When choosing your emergency contacts, pick at least 3 that are local, your neighbor down the street, your hairstylist if you have a good relationship with them, your cousin, something like that, and also pick somebody far, far away from you, someone out of town that won't be impacted by a disaster that might take over the whole area. So be prepared. Have you written down your emergency contacts yet? Have you actually shared that information with them? Good, I'm proud of you. Now, you're gonna wanna take the loved ones that are in your immediate evacuation crew and come up with an evacuation plan. And I don't just mean evacuating your bedroom to the kitchen for a late night snack. I'm talking sashay away from your entire town, your city, your rural area, your village, wherever you are. Because chances are, if there's a disaster happening in your area, you might need to get out of there. And if everyone else is trying to get out at the same time, the usual routes you're gonna take might be congested. So you're gonna wanna come up with a few alternate plans, learn the different back roads, and write these out on a physical map. Do you remember those, an actual analog map? Write it out, and don't just stop there. Actually take that route. Make it a fun little field trip, a little excursion with you and your family, because it's one thing to say you know what route you're gonna take, but it's another thing to actually go on that adventure, and maybe you find out that there's a fenced off area along the way. Maybe you find out that this isn't actually that good of an evacuation plan after all. Go on those routes, because again, you can never be too, what? Prepared, and by extension, beautiful. I want to tell you a story. One time I went to go perform at a show, and on my way there, The wind was just wild. It was blowing like mad, and it got my beautiful natural hair that definitely grows out of my scalp all tangled and up in a tizzy. And by the time I arrived backstage, I was a mess. I didn't know what to do. And then I reached into my bag and I found this little tiny bag that I had packed with extra bobby pins, with hairspray, with extra sets of eyelashes in case other people needed them, because these are also my real eyelashes. And I was prepared thanks to my go bag. And a go bag is going to be useful for you too, because when you're in a rush and needing to leave the house, you don't have time to think about, do I need this? Do I need that? Do I need that? No, this go bag is something that you should just always have packed and is ready to go. And you can go and get that now. Right now. Go and buy it now. Buy a cute bag. Ideally one that's a little bit bigger than this that can hold the things you need. But go and get that go bag and start prepping it now so that you're ready when you need it. Now, what goes in that go bag, you ask? Well, there's a few things that are absolutely essential. And those are going to be things like important documents, your IDs, your medication lists, photos of your family, because in case you get separated from your family, you're going to want to be able to be like, hey, this is what they look like, instead of trying to describe them as, well, they're gorgeous, they have beautiful hair, beautiful eyes. Well, I guess that is a pretty accurate description of me. Yeah, I guess that works too. But bring photos anyways. I just like to show off photos of myself anyway. The next thing that you're going to want to pack in here, now that you've got the essentials in there, is the things that are still pretty important, but might vary from person to person. These are things like your first aid kits. You might want to pack a battery-powered radio, a flashlight. There are things that are important, but important to you. Now, there are things that might be important to you, but still aren't important enough to go in this bag, like lipstick. Let's be real. I know the importance of having good lipstick, but beauty comes from the inside, and I would rather be prepared and not weigh my bag down with things that I don't actually need. So make sure that you're only packing the essentials and that this is something that's easy for you to take with you. It's called a go bag after all. Now, the last couple things that you're going to want to pack, you can't really pack into it right now, and that's because these are things that you actually are using right now. Things like your phone, your keys, your wallets, your actual medications. These are things that it would be pretty impractical to be in your go bag. So make a list of these things. Keep it short, don't put too many things on these lists. Make sure that it's easy for you to go and grab, stick them in that go bag right before you leave. A note on medication. Most insurance will only allow you to have 30-day prescriptions. They actually will allow you to refill it at 28 days. So if you get started now and start refilling at 28 days, eventually you will build a cushy little backstock of medication for, guess what? Your go bag. Let's recap real quick, just to make sure that we're all on the same page. So far, you have your emergency contacts and you have contacted those emergency contacts and they know that they're your emergency contacts. You've also prepared your evacuation route and you've already strutted your stuff all the way down that evacuation route, so you know it's a cute one. You've packed your go bag, and your go bag might have some stones on it to look real cute, and all of a sudden the local authorities say that it's better to stay home. Well, that throws a wrench in our plan, doesn't it? Luckily, there's one last thing that you can start preparing right now in case a scenario like that happens, and that is by packing a stay box. Stay box is exactly what it sounds like. It is a go bag for staying at home. It's almost like having a little camping trip at home, making sure you have all the supplies, because you're going to want to expect that there's not going to be electricity and that there's not going to be any running water, right? Prepare for none of that. And prepare for 3 days of none of that. That is the recommendation there, 3 days. And so what you're going to want to do is make sure you have plenty of food and water in there. And when I say food, I mean food that's not going to spoil, food that you're not going to have to prepare, just food that you can just leave and sit there for a long period of time, hopefully a very long period of time before you need to tap into that stay box. And you're going to want to have some water on hand. And by water, I mean 3 gallons per person. That sounds like a lot. It's because it's not just for drinking, it's also for washing. Because remember, you don't got running water here either. Don't forget that you also need to pack some of these essentials like toilet paper and some of these extra things, but most importantly, trash bags. Now, trash bags have a double purpose here because you can use them for trash, but you can also use them as a toilet because you don't have running water. And I know what you're thinking, whatever anxiety that might give you, I guarantee you it is a better option than having no options. I know because I've done it. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. So get your stay box ready. Oh my gosh, the 5th step already? Can you believe it? I can, because I was prepared for this. And if you've been following along, you should be prepared too. And by extension, a little bit more gorgeous. Now, this last step is really all about making sure that your community is prepared, right? Your neighbors, your schools, the community, if they're in chaos and pandemonium when the disaster hits too, that does you no services. So it's in your best interest to make sure that everyone around you knows the good word of preparation. That way you can have a really gorgeous community that is prepared. You can do this by checking in with your schools, making sure that they have a plan in place to reunite kids with their families, microchip your puppy, put your IDs that you have in your go bag, put those IDs in more places, in your kids' backpacks, put them in other places. You might also have some extraneous circumstances here too. You might be older or younger, pregnant, disabled. You might live in a rural area. You might have more pets than most people, right? Everyone has their own unique circumstances that impact them or impact their community in different ways. So take the time and do some research into what you need to do to get those things prepared as well. A couple of these are covered in the Listos California Disaster Ready Guide, which you can download at listoscalifornia.org. Now, at this point, you're ready to fly. It doesn't cover everything. There's still more that you need to learn, but these are the basics. And the basics are important because they are the foundation that is set to allow you to live a gorgeous, gorgeous life. I'm Florida Man.